Hello everyone, welcome to another Pop Culture Overload video review. And this is definitely the biggest undertaking that I have had as of yet. My good friend Neil purchased this at Anime Pop here in Dallas. Well, it's actually in Addison, Texas, located at Beltline and Midway. Please visit them for all your anime needs. Anyway, that was about $5. So, what he has purchased here, and if you're looking at that, you've already seen the type at the bottom of the screen that says Perfect Grade. This is the MBF-02 Strike Rogue and the Sky Grasper Orb mobile suit from Gundam Seed. I did all of that in one breath. This box is massive. To give you an idea of how big this box is, I'm just going to try to pan back a little bit here. Now you can kind of see how big this box is, but I'm going to go ahead and throw in a small transformer there. There's Deluxe Class Ratchet. And this box that is full of pieces that just need to be put together and cut out of sprues. I'm just going on. If my assistant would please turn the box around, and it's coming right at us. Here we get a look at the actual model itself. There's the Sky Grasper right there. And these are what the models are actually going to look like. And there is the mobile suit itself. That's just a picture. Can you imagine what this thing is going to look like once he gets it together? And I'll be chronicling Neil getting this together, because this is definitely not a one-shot thing. So stay tuned, folks. Next we're going to get this thing out of the box, see what's inside, how much work he's got ahead of him, and we'll be right back. Okay, back to Neil. He just got through unboxing. Now this was the box that things came in. And there's one of the sprues, and there's a couple more. I'm just going to, give you an idea of how many sprues there are to this thing. This is what he is working with. These are doubles. All these that are stacked are just double. But moving back, he's still got more. That is a big sword there. Beam sabers, just more pieces, and even more still on here. Even the stand, which for some reason is on a sprue that you have to cut off. That, I don't know. I don't know why that's there. But those are the instructions. This thing is a massive undertaking, and I just wanted you to get a look at all the pieces that there are associated with this. So, we'll get back to Neil once he gets, I don't know, a leg put together. Alright, so Neil's been working diligently in here. And now forget the background noise. Looks like he's got a couple sprues missing, a couple cut out. Let's see. What is he? Oh my. That looks pretty awesome. And man, this thing's pretty big. I mean, this is just the leg itself. You probably have something to compare it to, but there we go. And here we find my buddy is getting further along with his model. This one actually has a torso and a head now. And what a detailed head that is. I mean, that is, wow. Classic Gundam. And this thing has a cockpit too. This is crazy. Okay, getting back to what my buddy has created here. As you can see, those are working lights in the eyes. Just to pull back a little bit. He's been busy. This is after about 24 hours. And look at that. He's not quite finished yet, but look at just the armor on this guy, or girl, that shield, that sword. I love that thing. Just an awesome look, and he's not even done yet. But right now, this is still a kick-ass model, just as is, but just wait, folks, there's still more to come. Well, folks, when last I left you, Neil was diligently trying to get this Perfect Grade Gundam built, and he was pretty close, but he still had a little bit to go. But now I'm pleased to tell you that he has completed it. What we're looking at here is the Sky Grasper with the power source backpack that goes with the Strike Rogue, and this is very, very cool. I'm just going to show you this little thing. That's a teeny tiny little pilot, really small. Anyway, I wanted to get that out of the way before I accidentally knock it somewhere. But this is the Sky Grasper here, and this awesome stand can be used a multitude of ways. You can take it and pop it off, and it'll actually hold the Gundam itself. I just want to hold up the Strike Rogue because it's a little bit more, you just want to kind of see it in flight. The Gundam stands, this thing though, it does have landing gear that attaches here and here. You just take these points off and attach it, and you can put the landing panels back on. But as far as the ship itself, look at this thing. It is beautiful. This is pretty much the back half right here. You can kind of tell where the color changes. It's got a beam cannon that's able to rotate and go up and down. It's got a cockpit here with 2 pilots inside. I don't claim to know much about Gundam Seed. In fact, I know nothing about Gundam Seed. So I can't tell you the pilot's name, but they're certainly in there. So, also, the shield and the gun will attach to the sides of the Sky Grasper, just like this. It's got little holes there, and the panels actually come back for those holes, and there you go. I mean, that just looks just so wicked coming at you. But first thing to do is take these off. We're going to go ahead and, I mean, this is the Sky Grasper, but we want to see the Big Daddy. Or, I know it's a female pilot, so the Big Mama. So, get that off of there. And look, and if you look at the Sky Grasper, I mean, this thing has a lot of great detail to it. These panels kind of slide and cover those holes. And this one pops up. You know what, I'm not going to mess with that. But the Sky Grasper itself, I really like how it looks. Just a really sleek little fighter. I love the big beam cannon up there and the 2 on the side. Very nice. If you're just going to get it alone for this, it's pretty awesome. But that's just the Sky Grasper. Before we get into it, here come a couple of accessories that come with it. You get 2 detachable beam sabers, and the beam sabers are right on the backpack. In fact, we're going to go ahead and rotate those up in anticipation of. Also, the backpack and the Sky Grasper have flaps that actually move on them, and you look, they have little clear bits right here where they would have running lights. I love the detail on these perfect grades, and these will move up and down, especially when we get it on there. There's a plug that's just going to go into the back of the Gundam itself. With that, you have these little clips that actually will clip into the shield, so that you're able to attach it to the Sky Grasper. But if you take those off, we got like a little place for the shield to be stored on the Gundam itself. And let's take a look at that. Well, let's take a look at that shield, because this thing is so nice. I mean, look at that. It's got a handle here that goes up and down so the Gundam can grip it different ways. And if you look right here in the center, it's got a blast shield with an actual visible window there of a translucent plastic. I love that little detail. It also comes with this very nice looking beam cannon here. And this this magazine area, or another handle, I think it's supposed to be a magazine, I'm not sure. It moves to the side. It's got a very nice blue scope down there. This thing looks very intimidating. It looks pretty awesome. I like this. So, and also, it comes with something called the Grand Slam. This thing is so big, it looks like I could stab someone with this. Yes, I'm doing that cool light effect down the blade. Hold on, I want to do it again. Anyway, it's just, this thing is massive. I was reading, they said this is for taking down ships, actual enemy warships. The blade folds in like this, and I'm not sure why. I don't know if it's, I haven't found a place to attach this on the Gundam itself, but it does fold out, and it's got this really long handle. I mean, you could hold this. This looks like something you would, you know, stick somebody with. I'm got pretty big hands, and this thing is ginormous. But that's all the accessories. Let's bring in the Strike Rogue. Now, I can't go back anymore. This thing is just fantastic looking. I love the detail on it. Let me just get one little thing in there, and you take off this back panel here, off the head. And for the duration of this, we're just going to leave those on. What did I just switch on, you ask? I switched on the lights. I don't know how well it's coming through on my lighting setup, but the eyes and that little jewel in the crown are lit up. Also, inside the chest here, if you can really see, I've got it pulled out as far as I can, but there's a teeny tiny pilot in there. And it's just the white unpainted plastic. I suppose when Neil ever had a headache to do that, he would go ahead and paint them up, but that slides, if you can just get a look at her in there, it slides up into the back and the cockpit closes. That's a great detail in itself. Also, for another little accessory in here, on the side of these panels here, and inside of them are these knives. They're fold out and they're easily dropped, but look at this thing. And the fingers on this are articulated, so, but it also has a tab on the side here to hold things, but the knives just kind of fit in there. And you can close up the thumb. The fingers are articulated just like regular fingers. I love that. And there you go. And she has one on each side here. Just going to go ahead and get them out and show them to you. I'm not going to put this one in that hand, but as you can see, it's the same kind of. I left a little flash on there. Oops. And it's gone. But that thing, I mean, painted, this would look great. I would love to see this painted. And they just fold up and get stored right inside of there. Really great detail. I'm going to go ahead and put those back because I don't want to lose them. I don't want to lose anything from this. I'll take that out of her hand. I know one of the pilots is female, so that's why I call her she. In the Navy, we had a little saying, why is everything named a she? Because it takes so much to keep them in powder and paint. And I would think that, okay, you know what, I'm not even going to put that in there right now. So, back to the Strike Rogue. So I think we've covered some of the details on it. And all these panels are actually removable, so you can see the detail underneath. All these perfect grades are meant to have most of the white paneling taken off, or whatever color the paneling is, so you can see the detail beneath it. See the endoskeleton, if you would. Now, as far as articulation, I have to really just get this thing in frame here. If you look at that leg, just all the panels moving right there, and that's just with the ankle joint. You don't get a lot of rotation side to side. You get a little bit up here in the calf, but you don't get a lot on the ankle. But it will tilt, and these actually move independent of each other. And you can put it like in that cool kneeling pose that we had in the just a little while ago. The knee joints are double jointed. Look how the panels move. Just look at that. And of course you got all these flaps here that are moved to allow for the hips to rotate. You kind of got a ball joint in there. And you can get a really decent range of motion out of these hips. Even with all this stuff in the way here. The shoulders, now I had a bad incident with the shoulders. I'm going to try to be careful with them, but you get a full back and forth, you know, get a full 360 on each side. They'll go up and down, and look, if you look inside right up here, they're actually moving inside the chest as well as moving up on here. These are actually separate pieces. They will come off. You get a double jointed elbow right here, and as you can see, that panel flexes as well. It'll go back down. And the head is on a pretty awesome ball joint. I would assume there are some wires or something in there, so this is pretty much the range of motion you get right here. But it can look up and down pretty well. And all of the fingers are articulated at each knuckle. Really, just that right there I find to be very awesome. Now on the Skygrasper, well, the backpack unit, you had these little beam saber handles. They have a little notch right there, and you just attach a beam saber to them. and she can hold any one of these in her hand. And they fit very, very well. But for now, I'm going to go ahead and get this backpack attached to it. Get that other beam saber handle back in there. Now the pack itself, you turn her around, there's a slot. There was a slot right here that moves down. Yes, try to be expensive with the try to be careful with the very expensive model. And there you go. That plugs into the back, and look at that. So you get all that onto the back, and I'm going to have to get my camera up here just to show you how that attaches in there. I don't know why the beam sabers wouldn't be attached to it already. I'm not sure. But the shield can either be held in the hand by the handle, or you can open up this part right here and kind of, as Neil was saying, this is a pain in the butt, but I have to show you this because I like how the shield can just attach on without needing to be held. Anyway, so right there, that forearm, that joint right here on the elbow has a peg inside there and a little bracket in here. So we want to put this peg into that hole and just kind of close it up, and there we go. The shield is attached. You can get a lot of, well, I didn't attach the other side. There we go. And that sits very solid in there. And in this hand we can go ahead and put the giant beam cannon. Once again, you got that notch, and oh, the notch is only on one side. Huh, interesting. Well, we're going to put the beam cannon in this hand then. How dare they tell me which hand this beam cannon can be in and which can't. I apologize, trying to get this thing lined up here is kind of a pain. These are not toys. These are straight up model kits. And there we go. I found the peg. Blindly looking for it. I got a joke about finding it, but I'm not going to say it. So, alright. So now that we've got that giant beam cannon in the hand, we're just going to go ahead and pop this sword hopefully I can find it there. No. Damn you. There we go. No. Urgh. And I popped off one of the fingers. Yeah, they're easily popped off. The one perfect gray Gundam I ever built, that was a problem on those. There we go. And bear with me here, folks. And now I popped off the middle finger. Well, it's just going to stay off then. I know what she was trying to do with that middle finger. Now, after all of that, there you have the MBF 02 Strike Rogue, and that thing just looks so intimidating with this huge sword, this huge rifle. It doesn't get any more badass than that. Let me see if I can just move her back a little bit. Kind of. And capture everything with it, because like I said, you can get a lot of poses out of this thing. But I'm just going to try to keep it up right so I can finish this review. But there you have it. That is the MBF 02 Strike Rogue. And I was happy to bring this to you. I'd like to thank my buddy Neil for buying this massive thing and letting me review his steps through it. And that's all I got for now. So Please visit Pop Culture Overload. Follow me on Twitter at JasonTheX. And until next time, folks, I'll see you later.